deep in the frozen wilderness of Siberia, a place where temperatures drop so low that even time itself seems to stop. A team of researchers makes a discovery so impossible, so out of place, that it threatens to rewrite every chapter of human history ever written. It begins with a strange signal, a metallic echo, coming from beneath layers of ancient permafrost. At first, scientists think it's a glitch, an error, maybe a buried meteor fragment or a collapsed mining tunnel. But the signal pulses again, steady, rhythmic, almost mechanical. Days later, as the excavation begins, heavy machinery shudders to a stop because what emerges from the ice isn't a rock. It isn't a cave. It isn't anything belonging to nature. It is a shape, a massive, sleek, cylindrical body, smooth, curved, aerodynamic. Not carved by erosion. Not shaped by accident. Engineered. As floodlights reveal its surface, the workers freeze in disbelief. A submarine, but not a modern one. Not a rusted Soviet relic. Not a forgotten wartime machine. This one is different. Because dating tests say it is 3,000 years old. Before electricity. Before iron ships. Before recorded engineering. Before human civilization had any knowledge that anything like this could exist. A submarine from the Bronze Age. And that is just the beginning. Archaeologists, military analysts, geologists, everyone who examines the structure reports the same chilling truth. This thing is made of massive stone slabs, fused together seamlessly, as if carved with tools far beyond ancient technology. No engravings. No symbols. No openings, but a design that looks unmistakably modern, sleek, sealed, airtight. A vessel built to withstand pressure, a vessel meant for travel, but travel where? Through water, through time, through worlds we no longer remember. As the team digs deeper, strange details emerge. Hollow internal chambers, smooth walls without joints, a layout that resembles something unmistakably mechanical. One researcher whispers, "This shouldn't exist at all." And then things get worse. Inside the structure, they find something that turns the scientific world inside out. Sealed compartment containing metal fragments, alloys that ancient humans were not capable of producing, alloys that even modern technology struggles to replicate. Suddenly, whispers begin. Is this a ritual chamber? A giant sarcophagus? A symbolic structure? Or something much more terrifying? Could this be evidence of a lost civilization, one with knowledge far beyond what history books allow? Or worse, could this be a relic from something non-human? News of the discovery spreads through secret government channels. Authorities want the excavation shut down. Someone, somewhere, wants this forgotten, but it's too late because the world has already seen the images of a massive stone submarine resting in the earth, as if waiting to be woken up, a machine frozen in time, a message from a forgotten age, a warning, or an invitation. And what they uncover next, deep inside its final chamber, will force humanity to question everything about its past. The deeper the excavation team digs, the more the air around them begins to change. Workers report feeling a faint vibration under their boots, as if something beneath the stone vessel is still alive, or remembering. Even the cranes and floodlights begin to flicker whenever they get too close, as if the machine is interfering with modern technology. When they finally clear the lower half of the structure, they discover something no one expected: a row of round ports, perfectly symmetrical, cut with such precision that laser scanners detect zero deviation. Zero. Not even modern shipyards achieve that level of perfection. And yet here it is, created by hands or something 3,000 years ago. A government scientist arrives, flown in overnight. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't speak much. He just circles the structure with a small handheld device that hums like a heartbeat. When he finishes, his face looks drained of color. He mutters under his breath, "This is not human craftsmanship. Not from this era. Not from any era we know." As night falls, security forces surround the site. The area is sealed off. Drones patrol overhead. Someone somewhere is afraid of what might be revealed. Inside a temporary command tent, the team gathers around a large table covered with printed scans and reconstructed models. The interior of the structure is even stranger than its exterior. No seats, no control panels, no tools, just smooth corridors and curved chambers that appear to have been shaped from a single, continuous material, like a giant shell grown instead of built. And then comes the discovery that changes everything. In one of the chambers, hidden beneath a slab that took hours to lift, they find a second layer, a compartment containing 3 spherical objects, each about the size of a human skull, perfectly preserved and humming faintly with residual energy. Not electricity, not radiation, something different, something unknown. The instruments can't identify the source. And that is what terrifies the scientists most. One of the researchers suggests these spheres could be ancient power cores, energy sources used by a civilization that mastered something we still haven't learned. Another whispers a different theory, that these are navigation devices, or memory storage, or seeds. Not biological seeds, but technological ones, designed to rebuild something once activated. No one wants to say the word out loud, but it hangs in the air like smoke, alien, before they can open the spheres. The ground trembles. A deep rumble echoes from somewhere beneath the vessel. One of the floodlights explodes, showering sparks across the mud. Workers yell. Scientists rush outside. The ground beneath the structure begins to crack, as if something trapped within the earth is awakening after thousands of years. And then the unthinkable happens. A low, metallic sound reverberates from within the stone submarine, a sound that shouldn't be possible from ancient rock. It echoes like a sonar pulse, a ping, as if the machine is calling out, sending a signal into the dark Siberian night. One of the soldiers panics and raises his weapon, but the commanding officer restrains him. They all watch in stunned silence as the stone hull releases a faint mist, almost like breath, as if something inside is adjusting to the outside world. The lead archaeologist steps closer, his voice shaking. It's responding. It knows we're here. Suddenly, alarms in the camp begin to sound. A message comes through the radio. Unidentified aircraft approaching from the north. No transponder. No communication. The scientist from earlier clenches his jaw. They know, he whispers. Someone else knew this was here long before we found it. But before the aircraft arrive, before the site can be fully secured, the structure emits a second, louder pulse, so powerful that it knocks several workers to the ground. Electronic equipment shorts out instantly. Floodlights die. Generators fail. Total darkness swallows the dig site. And in that silence, the vessel begins to move. Not much. Just a shift, a tilt, a slow rotation, as ancient mud gives way. As if the thing has been waiting for thousands of years, not dead, but dormant. And now, awakened. The scientists scramble to retreat, but the archaeologist stays rooted to the spot, staring at the impossible machine as mist rises from its vents like cold breath. He whispers to himself in terror and awe, "This isn't a relic. It's a survivor. Who built it? Where did it come from? And more importantly, why has it awakened now?" The answers lie inside the final chamber, a room no one has opened yet, sealed by a perfect circular doorway with no handles, no hinges, no seams. A doorway that reacts only to heat, or perhaps only to life. Deep inside that chamber lies the truth about the vessel, its creators, and the civilization that vanished without a trace. The circular doorway stands before them like an ancient ice smooth, flawless, untouched by time. It looks nothing like the rough stone slabs that form the rest of the vessel. This surface is darker, colder, almost metallic. It absorbs light instead of reflecting it. The moment the archaeologist brings his torch close, the surface ripples just for a second, like liquid turning solid. Everyone steps back. The scientist who had been silent until now studies the door carefully, then slowly removes his glove. He presses his bare palm against the surface. The moment his skin touches it, the entire structure emits a gentle hum. Lines of faint blue light appear beneath his hand, spreading across the door like veins awakening after centuries of sleep. No one dares breathe. The lights pulse once, twice, then the door simply dissolves inward. No sound, no debris, no mechanism. It melts into a mist and vanishes completely, revealing a narrow passage glowing with a pale internal light that no one can identify. There are no bulbs, no torches, no fire, just a soft illumination radiating from the walls themselves. The temperature inside is warm. Warm inside a stone structure buried in frozen Siberia. Another impossibility. The air is strangely clean, almost sterilized. And yet, underneath that sterile scent, there's a faint trace of something organic, something ancient, something that has been waiting. 3 members of the team enter first cautious, trembling. Their flashlights flicker near the entrance, but stabilize deeper inside, as if the structure is adjusting to them, learning from them, syncing with them. The corridor leads to a chamber that is completely circular. The walls curve seamlessly into the ceiling. In the center floats a platform, floats hovering a few inches above the floor, spinning slowly, silently. On that platform rests an object covered with a thick layer of dust. When one of the scientists brushes it away with shaking fingers, the room seems to respond. The humming rises, the lights brighten, and the object begins to glow. It isn't outdated weapon. It isn't a tool. It's something far stranger. A capsule. About 3 feet long. Transparent. With something inside. At first, the archaeologist thinks it's a carving. A figurine. A symbolic statue, but then the figure inside the capsule moves. A slight shift. A twitch. A slow bend in what looks like an arm. Everyone jumps back, screaming, scrambling out of the room. The capsule releases a soft exhale, fogging the inner walls for just a moment. The archaeologist backs up slowly, heart thundering against his ribs. He whispers the only thing his terrified mind can form. It's alive. After 3,000 years, the scientist shakes his head violently. No human body could survive this. No organism we know could sleep this long. The platform rotates faster, humming louder. The capsule glows brighter from within. The faint shadow inside becomes sharper, clearer. A silhouette humanoid, but not fully human. Longer limbs. Narrower torso. A structure in the face that is almost human. Almost familiar, but not quite. A sleeping passenger. Biological, being preserved in a vessel that predates human civilization. Then, without warning, the entire vessel shudders. The ground trembles again, stronger this time. Dust falls from the chamber walls. The floating platform rises abruptly, lifting higher into the air. Alarms outside blare once again. A soldier rushes into the chamber, shouting, "We have movement outside. Something's coming fast." The team races back to the surface. Snowstorms swirl violently in the sky. The wind howls as if the earth itself is warning them. From the horizon, strange lights flicker silent, hovering, shifting in patterns that no aircraft on Earth should be capable of. The security commander screams into his radio. No response. Generators surge back to life on their own, their lights flickering in the same rhythm as the glowing vessel below. As if sensed, connected, communicating, the scientist grabs the archaeologist by the arm. "We need to leave, now." The vessel woke up because it sensed something. Someone. It sent a signal, a call. And whatever it called is here. A massive, deafening crack splits the air. Everyone turns. The ancient submarine, buried for 3,000 years, begins to rise from the mud, slowly, majestically, as if gravity itself is bending around it. Submerged thrusters that should not exist activate beneath layers of stone, shaking off centuries of dirt. The triangular vents along its sides open, releasing streams of steam into the frozen air. The archaeologist stumbles backward in disbelief. This wasn't a tomb. This wasn't a relic. His voice cracks in terror. This was a vessel meant to return. The lights in the sky grow brighter dot, closer dot, descending dot. The capsule inside the chamber glows like a small sun, pulsing, matching the lights above. The ancient machine prepares for something, a reunion, a retrieval, a mission never completed, but then everything stops. The lights freezed up, the vessel halts mid-rising, silence falls so heavy that even breathing feels too loud dot, because inside the capsule, the being finally opens its eyes that are not human, eyes that have seen a world we have forgotten, or one we were never meant to know dot. And as its gaze locks on the archaeologist standing at the chamber entrance far below, a single thought forms in the stunned silence. This wasn't an accident dot, it wasn't lost dot, it was hidden, because whatever built it was planning to come back, and now they have. The deeper you go into this mystery, the more the timeline of human history starts to feel like a fragile story, one that someone, somewhere has tried very hard to keep simple. But what lies beneath Siberia does not fit into any simple version dot. As the research team gathered around the ancient submarine-like structure, a quiet, uneasy tension filled the icy cavern. Their lamps reflected off the smooth stone surface, stone shaped with such precision it looked almost metallic. This wasn't carved by primitive hands. The edges were flawless, the geometry exact, the seals perfectly aligned as if made to withstand pressure. Not from water, but from something else entirely. One scientist ran his hand along the grooves and froze. Beneath the frost was a sequence of etched symbols, spirals, intersecting lines, star maps. They weren't random. They were instructions. A map. A warning. The team's lead archaeologist whispered, "This wasn't meant to be found." But curiosity pushed them forward. They cleared the front seal, expecting debris or sediment inside. Instead, a rush of pressurized air escaped, as if the chamber had been sealed just yesterday, not 3,000 years ago. The interior was pristine, lined with polished stone panels that looked almost like control boards. No switches, no levers. Just depressions where hands might fit dot. At the center rested a long, narrow sarcophagus-like slab dot. It wasn't made of stone dot. It wasn't made of metal dot. It was made of something they couldn't identify. The moment they tried to lift the lid, a deep vibration rolled through the chamber, so low it felt like the earth itself was growling. The ice above them cracked in a long, echoing scream. Cameras flickered. Their radios died. Breath fogged the air in thick clouds. One scientist stepped back. This chamber wasn't built to preserve something. It was built to contain it. But it was too late. The slab beneath them began to shift, not from their touch, but from something inside responding to the warming temperature, as if their presence had awakened it. A thin line of white light split across the top of the sarcophagus. Nobody breathed. The line widened. Inside they saw nothing human dot. The figure was long, slender, wrapped in a textured skin-like armor that shimmered under their lights. Its face was hidden behind a reflective covering. Symbols similar to those etched outside ran down its torso in glowing lines. It wasn't dead. It was preserved, like it being put into stasis, waiting for a specific trigger to wake. The light along its body pulsed slow at first, then faster, like a heartbeat restarting after millennia of silence. A cold wind surged through the chamber, though the air was still. The structure around them hummed like an engine, preparing to activate. Fear spread through the team. A second, pulsed up, then a third. The lights went out completely. Silence. When the chamber lights finally flickered back, the sarcophagus lid was fully open, and the figure was gone. Only a trail of wet footprints, strange, elongated footprints, led into the darkness of the icy tunnel. The team ran after them, but the prints stopped abruptly at a wall of ancient ice. No cracks, no openings. As if the being had walked straight through the frozen barrier. Above them, the wind outside roared. Something moved in the ice. The cameras caught one final frame, a shadow, tall, thin, standing deep within the blue layers, watching them with two faintly glowing eyes. Then the ice shifted, sealing the figure away once more. The team evacuated, shaken and silent, carrying with them only fragments of footage that would later vanish from official archives. The site was sealed. Military units surrounded the region. Every map of the area was quietly updated to show unstable terrain. But whispers leaked, a structure older than the oldest civilizations, a vessel that shouldn't exist, a being that wasn't human, and one final message carved on the inner. While translated weeks later, we came to escape the storm. But the storm followed. Whatever the storm was, it wasn't natural. And if the being truly woke, it may not have come alone. The truth remains buried in the ice. For now, but the storm they feared might be the one we're walking into today.